What is up? This is Randy Ritchie with Women Wrestlers You Should Know, sponsored by Premier Pro Wrestling. So please like, subscribe, and check out how to support PPW in the description links. Kanako Yurai, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, known professionally as Asuka, was born on September 26, 1981, and is a professional wrestler and former mixed martial artist. She's currently signed to the WWE, where she performs as a free agent under the WWE brand. She started her wrestling career in 2004 and has since become very well known in the WWE lineup for her perfect technique and wicked intentions. So those of you that don't know, she was trained by the great Asuka, and I will bet you dollars to donuts that training was not easy by any stretch of the imagination, as Japanese standards are much, much higher for training than they are here currently in the United States. Asuka is 41 years old, and I've heard more than just whispers about her age. And I want those naysayers to take a look at the ages of the top performers in the sport today, in the entire sport today. And I want you to take that pen and write this down. Emotional maturity. I don't have to explain it to you, because if you don't know now and you don't pay attention to it, then you're right where you should be. You'll keep getting out of the industry what you put into it, which is half-assedness. So, before Asuka became a wrestler in 2004, she graduated from the Asuka University of Arts Junior College and even wrote for Xbox Magazine. She also designed graphics for Nintendo, DS, and various mobile applications. What's more, Asuka also owns her own hair salon in Yokohama called Another Heaven. Now just think of that for a second, man. Think of all the creativity and how hard a worker this girl is before you start to complain about where you're at in the wrestling industry, because she had to work real hard to garner all that stuff, which is just non-wrestling. Asuka started her wrestling career in 2004 and has since become very well known in the WWE lineup. Yes, we know that. Before she was at the WWE, she performed in the A to Z promotion until 2006. She returned to wrestling in 2007. She did some promoting for some of the Japanese companies, and in 2015, Asuka became the first female Japanese wrestler to sign a developmental deal with WWE. She won the NXT Women's Championship in 2016, and a year later, she was moved to the main roster. What can you say about this? 18 months, folks. But she stood out. Why? Because she works her ass off, and she is creative. Because of her work as a graphic designer and video game journalist for Microsoft, Asuka is sponsored by the company. She also started a YouTube channel in 2019 where she posts gaming and lifestyle videos. And I, myself, am going to I'm going to subscribe. This is amazing to me how diversified this woman is. Now listen to this. Everybody can appreciate this, even if you're not a wrestling fan. Being the first Japanese female to sign with the WWE, Asuka boasts great representation for women in the sport of wrestling. She's a very strong female role model and always carries herself with pride into any wrestling match, and you can see it. You can also see that she elevates anybody she's in the ring wrestling with. She's dedicated. Asuka is the first woman in WWE history to win the NXT Women's Championship, Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship, Women's Tag Teams Championship, a Royal Rumble match, and Money in the Bank. On top of all this, she was named one of the top 5 greatest female superstars of all time in 2021. What an amazing resume. And yes, she is impressive and an inspiration to everybody. Asuka has voiced her opinion on the rise in racism in the United States since 2020. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight Canada, Asuka stated that she is shocked at the increase in racist attacks on Asian people and detailed her own experiences with racism, which, I should have looked up, but it is what it is. I haven't. But I think we all know that already. I mean, if it's getting to her and she's renowned as she is, yeah, it's a fucking issue. She loves food. Asuka's YouTube channel featured many videos for showing off her cooking skills or Japanese cuisine, which is now she cooks on top of all that. Asuka has released 3 gravure DVDs titled Manifesto, Manifesto 2, and Manifesto Final. She is in video games. Asuka's been featured in many WWE video games. I bet it's fun. I don't game, but I bet she's a fun character because in the ring she can do anything. Asuka has been an accomplished, staggering total of 31 championships and accomplishments. Very, very much something to boast about. Asuka can always be seen sporting a colorful wrestling ensemble in two-tone blue and pink hair whenever she is in the ring. Yes, she looks like a live anime character, and that's going to appeal to so many different markets. And if you want to make it in pro wrestling, this is how you have to think, in addition to backing it up the way this girl does in the ring. There's been a lot of real naysayers and harsh critics of pro wrestling that have called her currently the best in the business, man or woman. Now, also take note of this. Does Asuka have children? Yes, but she is very private about her personal life, and that's what you should be. You can't trust everyone, and you don't want to put people you love out there and not give them a chance on social media. Did WWE release Asuka? No, they just didn't have any creative plans for her at the time. I don't think that they'll ever release her unless it's due to an injury or on her terms, because she's just too compelling, she's too believable, and she's too popular, But I'll tell you, if I'm Vince McMahon or any decision makers, I'm telling creative to get off their effing ass, because Asuka's window at 41 is not going to be that long, and this is somebody that is going to equate into ratings and merchandise sales you don't want to have on the shelf for long. Did Asuka lose her teeth in the match? I didn't know this. Yes, she was kicked in the face by Shayna Baszler. I thought wrestling was fake, guys. In case you guys are wondering, her birthday is September 26th, and I'm sure a lot of people online know that. Like I've told people before, I don't watch a lot of current wrestling. Some of it I can't stand. WWE is not one of them. But it's just about time and being burned out. Now that we're taping 2 times a week, I have just too much wrestling on the brain, and I don't have time to watch it, and I just get burnt out, But I'll tell you, it's only taken me like 2 minutes to watch her in the ring from NXT till today to effing get it, And you'll get it quick. You'll get it quick just in a ring entrance, but once she starts wrestling, man, it is freaking on. Now, she did take a little break in wrestling, and I'm surprised that she didn't end up quitting the industry, and this happened before she started making the money that she's making today. She got something called nephritis, an inflammation of the kidneys, and it's supposed to be like extremely painful. And a lot of people, men and women, would use that as an excuse not to continue or not to succeed. And not this girl, you know. I can imagine how rough the training was and how rough paying her dues was over in Japan, working those independent companies, and also, just like I said, the training there, period, you know. Um, hmm, I wanted you guys to hear this part. So, one of the fans, one of the smarks, took a shot at her new gear or something she wore in the ring. And like I said, the girl looks like a live, living, and breathing anime. But they bashed something that she wore. And what she wrote in response was just a bunch of LOLs. No change. It is perfect design. You have no taste. You know? So she stands up for herself. She doesn't take a lot of shit, which I like too, because everybody's so politically correct and so worried about all these idiots today behind the keyboards with their fake names, hurling all this harsh criticism at them and getting their proper likes and all that crap. It's just ridiculous, you know, and that's what you got to do. You're not focused if you're worried about those idiots, and you're not going to make any money if that's what you live for and that's what your motivation is to read about yourself from people that are really not the masses, you know. Um, so let's surmise while I close this down. I'm like really tired right now. And I was like, man, you know, if people are coming and checking these out or not, that I'm going to do something and honor one woman a day in commemoration of Women's History Month, I'm going to do it. And even though I'm tired, I wasn't looking forward to it. Well, all I had to do was just think of Asuka and start looking for the information that's out there. Look at all the talent she has in wrestling and outside of wrestling. She's got a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. And as a result of that, this girl's really got control of her own fate. And once again, just watch her matches, man. They've handed her the ball, and she has ran with that ball a billion times, you know. Not to mention you idiots, or, you know, somebody who takes this wrestling business as serious as I do, that's green or, you know, currently performing, and you do have half a brain and you're not a slave to your ego, which this girl could not be a slave to her ego and be where she is today, and she's one of the most successful performers in the sport. Look how focused she is, but I want you to also take note of how good she makes anybody that she is in the ring with. I can remember guys that were in this industry for, I'm not going to say a long time, but for a bit of time, being totally freaked out when they started doing the Kabuki Warriors tag team. And Asuka kind of carried that one too, you know. You can tell this is a girl that is very comfortable in her skin, and again, she is somebody that should be admired. She is a great inspiration to not just females, but males as well, not just adults, but kids. And if you're not in wrestling and you don't plan on being in wrestling at any facet, even if you're listening to this as an enthusiast, man, I mean, you know, some people write you a roadmap for success. Her roadmap would work in anything that you're interested in, and it starts with motivation, and you got to be able to have the heart that this girl does, along with the brains and emotional maturity that go with that. All right, I waxed poetic about the great Asuka. Please, again, note this is being brought to you without YouTube commercials. So like, subscribe, and you can help support Premier Pro Wrestling in the links in the description. Thanks, guys.